In Stoic Men Tribe, today we're tapping into a powerful truth, a moment of inner strength. Sharp clarity and timeless wisdom. Don't skip any part of this video. Share your thoughts in the comment. Please do us a favor by hitting the subscribe button, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's break it down. Stop telling everyone what's going on in your life. There is a quiet kind of wisdom that arrives in your life when you've been broken once too many times by the very people you thought were safe. When you've overshared in moments of vulnerability and later regretted giving people access to the sacred parts of your soul. You begin to realize that your life is not meant to be a broadcast, that your healing is not a performance, that your growth is not a group project, and that sometimes the greatest power you'll ever hold is the ability to keep your mouth shut and protect your peace like it's the last thing keeping you alive. Because here's the truth. People don't always listen to understand. They listen to remember, to collect, to compare, to twist, to repeat, to feed their own narratives, not your healing. Some will smile at your good news but secretly pray for your downfall. Some will ask, "How are you doing?" but only to measure how close you are to collapsing. Some will pretend to care when all they really want is front row access to your struggles so they can whisper your pain into someone else's ear with a smirk on their face and your name in their mouth. That's why silence isn't weakness, it's protection. It's wisdom dressed in stillness. It's the refusal to let your sacred spaces become public property. Because not every season of your life was meant to be shared. Not every move you make needs an audience. Not every door you walk through needs to be announced. Some victories are best kept quiet. Some dreams are best built in private. Some wounds are best healed in solitude, not under the scrutiny of eyes that hope you never recover. You must learn to preserve your progress, to treat your growth like it's holy, to protect your process like it's gold, because people will celebrate you, but only up to the point where your growth doesn't challenge their comfort. They'll cheer for you until your confidence sounds louder than their fear. They'll support you as long as you stay beneath the level where they've stopped climbing. So stop offering pieces of yourself to people who haven't earned the right to witness your journey. Stop narrating your every step on paths still being built. Stop giving away the map to people who only want to watch you get lost. They don't need to know what you're working on. They don't need to know who you're loving. They don't need to know where you're going. They don't need to know what you're healing from. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them speak. Because none of it holds power over a life built in truth, a life anchored in purpose, and a spirit that has learned the difference between connection and intrusion. Move in silence. Not because you're afraid, but because you've outgrown the need to be seen before the becoming is complete. Because you know that sacred things grow in dark places, that diamonds form under pressure, not in the spotlight, and that the strongest trees don't announce their roots. They let time and presence reveal their depth. There's a reason ancient temples were hidden. There's a reason sacred ceremonies weren't recorded. And there's a reason your soul keeps whispering, "Hold this close. It's not time to share this yet." So when you feel the urge to over-explain, to defend your decisions, to show the world you're doing okay, pause. Ask yourself, do I really need to say this? Or am I just trying to be understood by people who will never see me clearly? Your life isn't a story for everyone to read in real time. It's a sacred novel in progress, and some chapters are meant to be written in ink no one else can see. Keep your peace. Protect your purpose. Let your actions speak louder than your words. And when the time is right, your growth will become so obvious, your silence will be the loudest sound in the room. Because the truth is, what they don't know, they can't ruin. What they can't see, they can't sabotage. And what you build in silence can never be torn down by noise. So stop telling everyone what's going on in your life. Let your work show it. Let your results prove it. Let your energy reflect it. And let your peace protect it. Because in the end, they don't need to understand your journey. It's not theirs to walk. That's why silence must become your sanctuary. Why your movements must begin to flow like whispers through the wind, unseen, unannounced, and untouched by the noise of outside opinions. Because the truth is simple but often forgotten. When you speak too soon, you invite energies that were never meant to walk beside you. You hand over the keys to your sacred spaces, to people who never earned the right to be near them. Every time you share your next step before it's rooted, you expose it to winds that might not carry it forward, but scatter it. You give strangers, and even those close to you, the opportunity to doubt, to question, to plant seeds of confusion in something that was only just beginning to bloom. You open the door to opinions you never asked for. Opinions dressed as concern, disguised as support, but driven by quiet envy or fear. And the more you speak of your dreams too early, the more they become prey for the wrong intentions. Because not everyone wants to see you build. Some want to see you pause. Some want to watch you unravel, not because they hate you, but because your rise makes them confront their own stagnation. Your courage threatens their comfort. Your clarity exposes their chaos. And your growth reminds them of what they've refused to chase for themselves. That's why you must learn to move in silence. Not from fear, but from wisdom. From understanding that privacy is a form of self-respect. That protecting what's sacred isn't secrecy. It's strategy. It's maturity. It's strength. Learn to protect your process. Because not every soul is meant to witness your becoming. Not every spirit can handle the weight of your vision. And not every friend is truly a safe place for your future. Let your dreams grow in the soil of solitude. Let your plans take root in the dark, like seeds beneath the earth, gathering strength in silence before they ever reach the light. Learn to love the things you haven't shared yet, the goals still forming, the ideas still fragile, the shifts in your heart that don't need a name, not yet. Because sometimes the loudest moves are the ones no one ever sees coming, and the strongest foundations are the ones laid in stillness without applause. So keep your peace sacred. Keep your dreams wrapped in quiet fire. Move like a river, steady, quiet, unstoppable. Let your work speak when the time is right. Let your presence do what your words never could. And remember, you don't need to be seen to be powerful. You don't need to be heard to be effective. You just need to keep building in silence, in strength, and in your own divine timing. Because what is protected in silence can never be destroyed by noise. Let your healing unfold in stillness. Let it be as private as a sunrise no one else sees, as sacred as a prayer whispered behind closed doors. You don't need to bleed in public to prove you're in recovery. You don't need to perform your pain or narrate your every breakthrough to people who don't even know how to hold their own. Let your healing be yours, raw, real, uninterrupted by opinions, untouched by projections, untamed by the pressure to show how far you've come. You are allowed to retreat. You are allowed to vanish for a while, not because you're broken, but because you are being rebuilt from the inside out. Let your work happen where no one can see it. Let it be like the roots of an ancient tree, growing deep, stretching far beneath the surface, while the world assumes nothing is happening at all. Let them think you're quiet. Let them believe you've paused. Let them underestimate the storm of strength you're nurturing in silence. Because not all progress is visible, not all battles are public, and not all transformations need to be explained. You don't owe the world a real-time update on your soul's evolution. You don't have to give access to your process just because someone asks. Your growth is not content. Your healing is not entertainment. And your rebirth is not for their timeline. It's for your life. You're allowed to protect what's sacred. You're allowed to evolve without posting about it. You're allowed to rebuild behind closed doors. You're allowed to vanish from their radar so you can reappear in alignment with who you truly are. Not who they remember, not who they expect, but who you were always meant to become. Let your rise be a mystery. Let it be quiet, steady, and invisible to those who would never understand the weight you've carried. Let them see only the result when the time is right, when your peace is so undeniable, your energy so elevated, your presence so transformed, that there's nothing left to say. They'll ask where you've been. They'll wonder what happened. They'll look at you and sense something is different, because it is. Because you chose to honor your journey without needing an audience. So stop explaining. Stop oversharing. Stop justifying the parts of your growth that no one else is meant to comprehend. You're not obligated to be legible to those who never took the time to read you with care. Move in silence. Transform in solitude. Rise like the moon. Effortlessly, wordlessly, beautifully, until the light you carry speaks for itself. Until your presence becomes the only explanation you'll ever need. Because those who truly see you will never need the story told. And those who don't? They were never meant to be part of the plot. Because real transformation doesn't announce itself. It doesn't wait for validation or ask for permission. It doesn't come wrapped in applause or dressed for the spotlight. It shows up in the shadows, in the quiet corners of your life where no one claps, no one cheers, and no one even notices. It's not the loud moments that change you. It's the early mornings when you rise, exhausted but still rise. It's the late nights when your soul aches, but you still choose to heal instead of hide. It's the 1,000 silent decisions you make to become more. Not for attention, not for recognition, but for alignment, for truth, for peace. Real transformation is private. It's the slow shedding of the person you used to be, layer by painful layer, until you begin to see the outline of your true self emerging, raw, refined, reborn. So stop narrating your every move. Stop offering play-by-play updates of your growth to people who haven't earned the right to witness it. Stop explaining your silence. Stop clarifying your distance. Stop giving pieces of your process to those who only want to dissect it or diminish it. Let them wonder. Let them sit in the dark with their assumptions. Let them twist their own stories trying to fill in the gaps. That's not your business. That's not your burden. Because their curiosity is not your responsibility. Their comfort is not your mission. And their approval? That was never your fuel to begin with. You are not here to satisfy their questions. You are not here to be understood by minds that were never meant to meet your depth. You are not here to be made small enough to fit into their version of you. You are here to evolve. Quietly. Powerfully. Intentionally. So go ahead, pull back. Go still. Disappear into your process. Get lost in the sacred art of becoming. And let them misread the silence as a weakness. Let them mistake your stillness for stagnation. Let them believe you've paused. Until one day your presence re-enters the room so strong, so undeniable, that it answers every question they never deserved to ask. Because you don't rise to be seen. You rise to be whole. And in that wholeness you discover that their validation was never your victory. Your victory was the quiet decision to heal when no one clapped. To rebuild when no one saw the rubble. To believe in yourself even when the world looked the other way. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them run wild with the stories they create in your absence. Because the longer you move in silence, the louder your growth becomes. And by the time they realize who you've become, you'll already be too far ahead for their opinions to matter. So stay still, stay sacred, stay silent, and let the transformation speak when the time is right. Not in words, but in the way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you no longer shrink to fit a life you've already outgrown. True transformation is never in the spotlight. It's never born from the applause of a crowd or the validation of others. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or celebrations. Real growth happens in the moments when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, and no one is waiting for you to make a move. Transformation takes place in the silent hours, in the mornings when you rise, feeling the weight of the world on your ashechi. When you finally rise from your silence, changed beyond recognition, you will no longer be the person they thought they knew. You'll carry with you an energy so distinct, so magnetic, that words will no longer be necessary to define your presence. You'll walk into a room, and the very air around you will shift. Your transformation will be so complete that it will speak louder than any explanation ever could. No longer will you have to justify your choices, your growth, or the path you've chosen. It will be obvious to all who cross your path that you have stepped into your power. You'll radiate strength, the kind of strength that doesn't need to be flaunted or advertised. It will be felt in the way you move, in the way you speak, in the way you live. Your transformation won't just be seen, it will be felt at the deepest level by everyone around you, whether they understand it or not. They will see the person who rose from the ashes of their own doubts, the one who walked through the darkest moments and emerged not broken but whole. They'll see the clarity in your eyes, a clarity born from the peace that only comes when you've walked through your own storm. The energy you radiate will be undeniable, unshakable. And no matter how hard they try to understand, there will be something about you that is beyond their comprehension. Your soul will be written with the truth of your journey, etched with the lessons only time and pain can teach. And when they look at you, they'll see not just the person who once stood where they are, but the one who has transcended everything that tried to hold them back. They'll witness a version of you that is stronger than ever, more whole, more authentic, and more powerful than they ever thought possible. No amount of questioning, doubting, or disbelief will change the fact that you have become the living embodiment of resilience. Your presence will be your story. Your truth will be your legacy. And in the end, it will speak for itself. Cease the endless pursuit of explanations, for there is no need to justify yourself to those who will never truly understand. Stop seeking permission from the world around you, as if you need their approval to move forward. You were never meant to wait for the green light from others, for the truth is your path is yours to walk, and theirs is theirs to figure out. Stop waiting for someone to give you the okay to be who you are, to dream the dreams that are uniquely yours, to go after the life that stirs something deep within your soul. Stop holding back your vision, waiting for external validation that may never come. The only permission you need is the one you grant yourself. Stop seeking approval from voices that don't matter, and start listening to the only one that truly does, your own. Stop telling your story before it's complete. Your journey is ongoing, and no one can understand the final chapter when they have only heard the opening lines. There is power in the quiet work, in the unspoken progress, in the chapters that unfold in the unseen. Not every part of your story needs to be shared before it's finished. Some things are meant to be written in silence, crafted over time, perfected in the private spaces where you are free to grow without judgment.